Today, we're gonna be breaking down 3 floor work transitions that we can utilize to take our dance from up on our feet to down on the floor. So let's just hop into it. Now, for all 3 of these transitions, a helpful concept to remain mindful of is this idea of our posture and the level that we maintain with our bodies while we're dancing. Whether we're talking about ballet, jazz, lyrical, or in this case hip hop, each dance style has its own particular posture or positioning that is most optimal for our execution or practice within said dance style. And when it comes to hip hop in general, the movements and concepts within the style call for us to find and maintain a very rooted, connected, and grounded posture within our bodies. We're not usually fighting for that super long, stacked, and organized posture in our body when we dance hip hop. We always want to seek to maintain connection and proximity to the floor beneath us, almost like we could just reach down and touch the floor at any given moment. Hip-hop dance was born out of the style of breaking, footwork on the floor, freezes, and power moves, and I believe that that is what originated this very rooted and grounded positioning that we find in our bodies when we dance hip-hop. So this concept of our posture and the level that we maintain in our body when we're dancing is going to prove very useful for us as we're breaking down some of these transitions to the floor. With all that out of the way, let's just go ahead and hop into our first transition. Now, the first transition that we're gonna be breaking down is this idea of knee tucking, or tucking our knees underneath ourselves to get down to the floor. Now, you can do this in a number of different ways, but the base idea that we're going to break down is simply this concept of taking our knee, whether it's our right or our left, and simply tucking it underneath ourselves as we lower our body to the ground, lowering all the way to the floor until our weight is rested on that knee. So you can do this with either leg. You can do it with your right leg. You can do it with your left leg. You can bring both of your knees down on the floor. Now, the main thing here is that we are not simply dropping straight down onto our knee. Instead of simply dropping down onto our knee, what we're doing is we are actually utilizing the ball of the foot that we are tucking as sort of a cushion to set our knee down gently, right? So if I were to turn to the side, when I hook this foot underneath myself, the first part of my leg to actually touch the ground is my foot, right? I'll take my foot around, starting to lower my body down. Then, before my knee touches the ground, I'll tap my foot down to sort of cushion the impact with my knee to the floor before I move on to try anything else. Utilizing your knee as a way to transition down to the floor is a very effective way, and honestly, it's one of the methods that I utilize most commonly. Now, there's lots of different ways that you can sort of dress this motion up in your body. You can add a little kick out with the leg after you come down to your knee. You can switch your knees around. You can find a tuck and a slide. If you're into breaking, you can easily utilize this as a transition to get into your floor work, and so many other really dope ideas. Another reason why I like this transition is that once you actually get down to the floor, there's a lot of room to sort of play around with the positioning of your other knee, of your feet, of your hands. In other words, once you actually get down to the floor in this position, you still have a lot of options that you can play around with when you're exploring this idea of transitioning from standing on your feet and dancing to dancing on the floor. So this is a super fun one that I would recommend for you guys. Super quick and effective. Once you understand the basic mechanic of the step, really trying to dress it up and add your own personal flavor to it is really what's going to make the difference and make it look fresh. So have some fun and play around with this one. It's a super simple idea, and I can't wait to see what you guys come up with on your own. Moving into our second transition or method of getting down to the floor, we're gonna call this one just the hand to floor concept. Basically, this one works just like it sounds. We're going to be utilizing our hands as a point of contact that will allow us to take some weight off of our feet as we transition to the floor. Quick little note here, anytime that our hands come in contact with the floor when it comes to hip hop or breaking, unless we're doing something crazy that requires some extra stabilization, I like to utilize this policy of only making contact with the floor, utilizing my knuckles and my thumb. So you see how instead of just placing my hand flat on the floor here, I'm pressed up on my knuckles and I'm utilizing my fingers as stabilizers, and then my thumb is sort of working as like a kickstand to keep my hand up like that. Now for this hands to floor concept, it really is as simple as it sounds. We're simply going to think about utilizing our hands and finding different placement on the floor in order to take the weight off of our feet so that we can transition onto the floor. Now we can take our hands down in front of us, we can take it back behind us, we can go side to side. Where you place your hands on the floor really has more to do with how you want to get to the floor. If you want to utilize one of your legs and you need to get the weight off of it, you can utilize your hand as a point on which you can shift that weight to then play around with the placement of your leg. Now, a couple of different ways that we can play around with this idea. Let's say, for example, we wanted to take a little bit of weight off of one of our legs. We could utilize our hand as another point of contact with the floor so we could shift our body weight onto it to then play around with the placement of our feet. We can also utilize our hands to catch ourselves if we're going to, say, hinge backwards. We can utilize our hands as stabilizers or even utilize them as obstacles or sort of prompts for exploration. Now for me, I like this idea because it allows us to experiment with the concept of shifting our body weight into different parts of our body, or rather shifting our body weight off of just our feet. We're always standing on our feet, so the ability to shift our body weight into different parts of our body is really refreshing and a super fun idea to explore. So take some time to explore this one. I'm sure there's lots of ideas that we didn't break down in this video. If you guys would like a part 2 or a further breakdown of any of the concepts that we've talked about in this video so far, be sure to comment down below. Let me know if you would like more ideas on how to transition to the floor or specific steps that you can utilize to take you from standing up here to dancing down there. But that is going to wrap up our breakdown of our second transition. And now for our third and final transition to the floor. This is my personal favorite one. I like to call this one knee switching or knee stacking. Now this is a very common idea that is utilized quite frequently. This idea originated from different breaking get downs, as did the other ideas that we've talked about today. A lot of choreographers will utilize this idea in their choreography. It's just a super fun and super effective way to transition down to the floor, and once you understand it, it's a very useful tool. Now this transition is a little bit less abstract. We're gonna be a little bit more specific about our sequencing. Think about this one more so as a step or a piece of vocabulary that you can utilize. Then once you understand the sequence of these steps, you can take concepts from this idea to create your own transitions to the floor. So let's just go ahead and hop into it. To start off, we're gonna think about taking our right leg forward. Yeah, so we're simply just gonna take a step forward with our right foot. From here, what we're going to do is we're going to rotate our body to face the back. As we rotate, we're going to take our right knee and gently place it down on the floor underneath us. So simultaneously, as we're rotating, we're also going to place our knee down on the floor beneath us. Yeah? From here, this is why I call it knee switching. We're going to simply take the position that we are in currently. Our left knee should be up in the air and we should be resting down on our right knee. And we're going to just flip it. So we're going to take our left knee, scoop it underneath us, and then from there, step up onto our right foot. And then from here, to finish it off, we're going to simply flip this position again, but this time by placing our right knee back on the floor and lifting our left knee back into the air to face the front. Altogether, a little bit faster, that'll look like this. We take a step, we rotate down, switch the knees, face the front. Doing it with the other leg, it would be the same exact sequence, simply stepping forward with the left, taking it down onto our left knee. We would then switch our legs. Left knee should be up, right knee should be tucked underneath us, to then flip-flop this position, putting our left knee down, and bringing our right knee up. Now for this one, in order to take some of the pressure off of my knees, I will utilize my hands as I'm rotating around in a circle. And I'll do that like this. I'll take my right foot forward, bring my knee down, and I'll place my right hand down on the floor. Then from here, when I switch my legs, I'll place my left hand down on the floor to replace my left foot, switching my knees. And then from here, to get myself back to the front, I'll sort of push with my hands, either finishing on the knee that's up or with one hand down, whatever I'm feeling. I'll do this facing the side so you can see it a little bit better. I take my leg forward, I bring my hands down, I switch my legs, and I flip to the front. 7, 8, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5 and 6 and 7, 8. Now there's lots of different ways that you can play around with this idea. You can just straight up play with this pattern that I just broke down for you, or you can take different elements or pieces of the pattern and sort of break them up to create your own variations of the idea. However you want to utilize this idea, it's one of my favorite ways personally to get down to the floor from a standing position, and so I hope that it's as useful for you guys as it has been for me. And that is going to do it for our breakdown of these 3 transitions to the floor. You guys can hear the thunder and the rain right now. It's a very rainy day. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video and that these transitions will prove useful for you in your own practice. Like we said earlier, if you want any further breakdown of the concepts that we talked about today, or if you would like me to break down some more new concepts for getting to the floor, be sure to comment down below. You can also reach out to me at The Shed on Instagram or TikTok, and be sure to check out the link to our Patreon down below. Join as a free member so you can stay up to date on all the fun and exciting things that we've got coming up on Patreon very soon. I want to thank you guys so much for supporting me. We're almost at 11,000 subscribers, which is so crazy to say. We might even be at 11,000 by the time this video is posted, and that's all because of you guys. So thank you again for your support of me and this channel and your time in watching this video. I'm gonna see y'all in the next one. Peace out. Oh yeah, and we're gonna be back in the shed very, very soon. So stay tuned. Peace out.